Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another exciting and action-packed edition of Avon Varsity Football right here on AudioSportsOnline.com. Hello once again, everybody. My name is Marcus Fredwell, and I'm your host for tonight's contest between the Avon Orioles and the visiting Noblesville Millers. Your Orioles come into the contest with a record of 6-2, looking to wrap up their Hoosier Crossroads Conference Championship for the second time in 3 years. So look for the Orioles to give it all they got tonight as they look to bring home that conference crown. Tonight's contest is brought to you by Reynolds Body Shop, McNamara Florist, Red Cobra Wrestling, and the Avon Dental Center. We'll get to them in just a moment. As you can see, we are finishing up the senior night festivities here down on the field. We'll go over the seniors just momentarily here as we finish things up here for senior night. And we'll give you what we've got on everybody. The first senior we've got on the list is Earl Reynolds, number 3 down there. You can see a glimpse of Earl. Also, we've got number 5, Zion Davis down there as well. Number 7, Nicholas Gray is another senior. Number 9, Robbie Heaton. Number 10, Evan Shipman. Then you scroll down, we'll get to right there is number 15, Cameron Meisner. Then you got number 19, Luke Shayatovich. After that, number 21, Noah Diallo. Number 22 is Connor Albert. Number 23 next to him is Wisconsin-bound Isaac Garindo. Right next to him is number 24, the kicker Justin Hydorn. Next to Hydorn is number 25, Jacoby Cosby. Next to him is number 26, Jabin Carter. Next to him is number 27, Cameron Sims, who's in the street clothes tonight, if you will, as he is on the injured list this week. Also, seniors, more seniors for the Orioles. Next is number 33, Camden Morrell. You can see him there with his back turned to you. Then you got number 34 is Sammy Bullock. 35 is Spencer Strout. Number 40 is Devin Effinger. Number 41 is Jamie Hernandez over there as well. The next senior you've got is number 42, Dakota McNeil. Also number 46, Nathan Weisling. Excuse me. Number 50, Eddie Hughley. Number 51, Byron Young. 52, Tyler Jones. Number 56, Alex Shoemaker. Number 64 and number 97 is also is Ryan Brodnick. And we just learned that he is heading to the Heron School of Art, your typical offensive lineman art major there in Brodnick right there. You can see him. Next is number 77. That's Jack Camp. And rounding out the seniors for the Orioles is number 89 and tight end Adrian Lozano down here on the end. So there's all your seniors. You can see them one last time. We'll try to scroll gently. Your captains down here. You can see them coming out. Garindo, Meisner, Shayatovich heading out. And they're all heading down. They will exit the field before they come back out and join us for tonight's contest, once again between the Orioles of Avon High School and the Noblesville Millers, who have come all the way down from Noblesville tonight. Definitely a drive. It took me about 35 minutes to get here, give or take. And I am south of Noblesville considerably, so it's got to be at least a 45, 55-minute trip down here from Noblesville. So credit the few fans that have made their way out here. But we are going to be ready to go here in about 10 minutes. We'll get you down for the starting lineups in just a moment. We don't have anything from Noblesville as they didn't send a roster this week, so we'll do what we can to give you their starters and etc. But we'll definitely have everything we need from Avon tonight as the Orioles look to move it again to 7-2 on the season and take home that conference crown. Again, the second time in 5 years they would be able to do so if they can do it tonight. At one point tonight, Drew Shayatovich will be with us. He's the older brother of Luke Shayatovich, the senior wideout for the Orioles, one of many seniors tonight for the O's. And look for Drew later on tonight during the contest to provide some analysis as well as a little comedy as we like to do here when Drew gets around us. So look for him later on this evening. We've got the dance team on the field right now as they wrap up their dance performance. You can see, and then we'll get you back down to the scoreboard so you can see we got about 9.5 minutes before we will get things going. We'll give you a view of when they enter the field through that giant inflatable helmet, which is pretty neat here. They have acquired that just this year. In fact, it's the first time we were going to see them with that. We were here for the Avon Plainfield contest, and that was the last time I was here at Avon. You've been with Rob Kendall for most of the time, and we look forward to being with you here tonight and for the rest of the season. In fact, as myself, Marcus Fredwell, will be on the call for the rest of the season with the Orioles, following them through what looks to be a fairly promising tournament run. The first time in several years, the Orioles will not have to face off with Ben Davis in the sectionals. The sectional is Brownsburg will face off with Perry Meridian, and Avon will face off with Southport in 2 Fridays. They'll all get the week off next week, and we will go down here to the field in just a moment for the Star Spangled Banner. But before we do that, we're going to see, I think they might even do a pregame performance down here. Yeah, well, I think they're going to wait just a few minutes. And here we go. So we'll give you a rundown of the starters for the Orioles tonight on offense. From left to right on the line is going to be junior, number 62, Addison Batten. Number 54, DJ Bowles, will be on the left side of the line at tackle and guard. The center, Jack Camp, is a senior. And then the other 2 offensive line positions are Luke Martindale, number 76, and Alex Shoemaker, number 55, at the guard and tackle on the right side. So 3 returning starters next year will be seniors for the Orioles. But you will lose your center and your right tackle next year. So those are big positions for offensive line as well. So there's your offensive line starters for tonight. The tight end will be Adrian Lozano. One of the receivers will be Luke Shaadovich. He'll line up in the slot and outside, as will the rest of the receivers. They will line up all over the field. You'll see them in a pistol and shotgun formations with most of the time 3 wide receivers split out and Lozano in sort of an H-back position. But tonight we've got Luke Shaadovich, again, number 19, the senior Isaac Garendo, another wideout, number 23, a senior Robbie Heaton, another senior wideout, number 9. And then you'll also see senior Zion Davis, junior Jalen Peterson, and I'm sure we'll see some from senior number 3 Earl Reynolds tonight as well at the wideout position for the Orioles. As for the tailbacks, we'll see Samson James, the junior, and Javen Carter, the senior, will run the ball probably quite a bit tonight on senior night in a game against Noblesville, who comes in the game at 1-7 on the season. Their lone victory against Hamilton Heights. And we did have a chance to talk with Coach Bless this week. We had a few questions for him, and we'll get to that here in just a moment as we finish up the starting lineups. The quarterback for the Orioles is the senior Cameron Meisner, who's just having a breakout year so far and doing a great job for the Orioles. So look for Cameron to close out his regular season senior campaign with a bang tonight. Again, we did have a chance to talk to Coach about a few different topics. The first one we asked him was about the senior night. The class of 18 was sophomores on the Final Four and has been one of his most successful classes. And I asked him anything he could leave, any words he could leave for the class of 2018, excuse me. Said this. Give me a moment. We'll go to the field for the national anthem and be back in a moment on AudioSportsOnline.com. And a wonderful rendition here of the Star Spangled Banner. Before we go any further, let's get through some messages from our sponsors here tonight. Reynolds Body Shop has been family-owned and operated for 30 years, providing collision repair. They're located at 4325 West Washington Street in Indianapolis, just 4 stoplights east of 465, open Monday through Friday, 7:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Learn more about them on the web or call them at 317-243-2372. That's 317-243-2372 or online at www.reynoldsbodyshop.com. Excuse me, McNamara Florist has been in business since 1954 with 8 locations, including the Avon store on Rockville Road, and offer floral designs for various occasions. They're located at 9655 East Highway 36 in Avon and can be reached at 579-7900. Red Cobra Wrestling offers training sessions from Chad Red. They're located at 9233 East Highway 36 in Avon, across the street from Walmart and behind sidelines in the Red Brick Building. They offer sessions for all ages, including 3rd grade and under, and 4th grade and up. Learn more at redcobrawrestlingacademy.com. Now, Red Cobra Wrestling Academy has had several state championships throughout the last several years, a couple of those coming from Avon, maybe a couple from Brownsburg as well. So Red Cobra Wrestling definitely getting it done for your kids and their future. Dr. Timothy Greer, DDS of Avon Dental Center, and Dr. Christopher LaFave, they've been practicing in Hendricks County, on Hendricks County families for over 20 years, located in Avon's Beechwood Center. They're just east of Ivy Tech. They're open Monday through Friday, although early morning hours are available. Give them a call, 317-272-8100, or find them online at avondentalcenter.com. Got the field mic going for you here as well tonight, so we'll see. Here's a little bit of distortion for a second, but should be good enough to pick up the field mic, the field for you. And here we go. We've got Drew Shayatovich joining us in the booth right now. Give us just a second, and we'll get Drew's levels correct, and we'll get back here with you in just a sec. All right, Drew, give me a quick test.
You got me over there?
Give me one more time.
I'm here.
Oh, he's there, and he is beautiful. It's a great sight for sore eyes. Drew, how are you doing tonight at Avon High School?
You know, I'm doing a lot better now that I'm here. Get to get out here, catch an Avon Orioles game. Don't get to see a whole lot of those anymore, so it's always good to get back in town and see them play.
And now, Drew, you are an Avon alumni. You have participated in a senior night here at this very facility. Tell us what it's like for these kids going out here playing their potential last home game of their career.
You know, it is an emotional night for seniors and as well for other players on the team. You know, you go through this program and it becomes more than just kids that you play with in your class. You know, it's a program here at Avon, and that's one of the best things about playing for the Orioles. So it is an emotional night, not only for the seniors but for everybody. One thing Coach Bless does is he helps keep this night in perspective for everyone. He allows the seniors to have their time and everyone to kind of pay their respects. But also it is just another game, and it's an opportunity for this Avon team to go out and win a championship tonight. So they need to go out and take care of business.
Absolutely. And, Drew, you mentioned the potential Crossroads Conference Championship. Now, as a senior, you won a Crossroads Conference Championship as well. Let me lower my levels here a little bit for a second. You won a conference championship as well as a senior. Your brother now has a chance to win one. As we see the Noblesville Millers won the toss, elect to defer to the second half. Orioles will work from left to right to start the game. But let's get back to it. Drew, a conference championship as a senior yourself. Now your brother has a chance. What does that mean for you to see your younger brother have a chance to do the same thing?
It's great, and it's especially nice to be able to get back and see this live. Obviously, I follow along with these broadcasts while I'm gone. So it's a great opportunity for me to get back and see this program, not only my younger brother, but this program continue to succeed at the level that it has over the last few years. You know, winning championships at this level is a big deal, whether that's a conference championship sectional championship, regional championship, all the way up to the state level. Any type of championship at the 6A level and in the Hoosier Crossroads Conference is a big deal. So we take it like that at Avon here, and this is just another opportunity tonight to win one.
Right, and as you mentioned, any opportunity to win a championship is a big deal. And now, honestly, Drew, before Coach Bless came to Avon, there were very few opportunities to do so. And all of a sudden, in his last 8 years, they've been to the sectional final every single year, with winning a few of them, being a semi-state at least once. And so I think that Coach Bless has done quite a bit for this program over the last several years, and he will continue to do so as the opening kickoff will head into the end zone, and the Orioles will start 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line.
Yeah, it's a great point. Not only Coach Bless, but this entire coaching staff, and that includes the guys that are here now who work with this team, and also coaches who have been here over the last 10, 15 years, all through even the end of that Shelbourne term. And into the early Coach Bless years, guys like, Dave Ballou, who have obviously moved on to bigger things. But everybody who has been involved with this program in the last 15 years or so has played a major role in the success that they have had and are continuing to have. It's a big mindset thing. I remember in my final game, here we go.
As Samson James breaks one out on the first carry of the game, give him credit with, give him 50 yards on the carry. On the first play, 51, as he's spotted inside the 30 at the 29-yard line. Go ahead, Drew.
It always seemed that my senior year was one of the years that we finally started to take steps forward in competing again at the state level. And we had always competed in the conference, but then when we started to compete with teams like Ben Davis and really set the tone that we belong in the state discussion on a yearly basis, it was good to finally be able to help this program take that step, and they have obviously continued to take more and more steps after I have left, so it's good to see.
Absolutely, Drew, and we want to thank Drew again for joining us. He drove all the way down up north from Virginia just to come here and help us broadcast this game. Had nothing to do with his brother. He just wanted to be here for us. So.
Oh, yeah, just want to see my good friend Freddie here.
No, we thank Drew for being here. Now, Drew, you're also a high school football coach yourself out in Virginia. Tell us a little bit about that.
That's true. I've been coaching at Glen Allen High School, home of the Jaguars. Jaguars got a big game tonight against John Marshall that unfortunately I'm missing, but this is something that's a little bit more important than any single game can be, so it's good to be able to get back. But, yes, I've been working with Glen Allen High School out in Virginia, and it's been an excellent opportunity. I grew up, both my parents have been coaches my entire life. My dad obviously involved in the Avon football program as well as the Ben Davis basketball program for as long as I can remember, and then my mom was,
the GOAT.
For those who don't know, the all-time.
She's the GOAT. She is the GOAT of Avon High School, the greatest
yes.
of all time in the history of Avon High School softball.
Yes, she obviously had plenty of success there, so it's been great to be able to follow in some of their footsteps and get to start to make some of my own legacy. So,
as Samson James scampers into the end zone, we got a great view of that juke move. He started right, went to the left, and got into the end zone. Go ahead and continue, Drew.
So yeah, that's always played into my decision getting into coaching. I've obviously, as soon as I left high school, I started to get into coaching as soon as I could, and I credit a lot of that to my parents, and that's just always been something that's been around for my entire life, and you just kind of get used to it, and then you leave, and you got to find somewhere else to get your fix from it. So it's been a great opportunity for that.
Well, Drew, you mentioned having your parents being an influence. My dad, as you know, Drew, was a softball coach and was handed a couple of beatings by your mother. But is the winningest softball coach in the history of Brownsburg High School. They had a couple of meetings. Now, Drew, we're going to ask you another question here real quick. What can you tell us about a potential matchup with Brownsburg in the sectional final for what seems like it happens every year? I mean, we play in the same sectional, and no matter what, it seems like we're always facing off with Brownsburg in that final game. Now, you already played them once in the year, and you get up big time for that game. Is there any more added because it's the sectional, or is it just because it's Brownsburg that it's such a big game?
You get excited Like we talked about around here, any sectional game, anything like that, anytime you have the opportunity to compete at the championship level, programs around here like to get excited. But a Brownsburg game is so different on many levels, in the fact that it is that rivalry game. You know, we just talked about my parents and their coaching, and I remember for as long as I can remember, my dad would say, you know, nobody likes to lose to Brownsburg, even if it's in ping pong. So it is something that Avon will come in definitely with a level head, but still understanding the magnitude of the game and what it could mean for this program going forward. And obviously, you just never like to lose to Brownsburg. You like to take it to them every time you get the chance.
Well, yeah, myself being a Brownsburg graduate, when I was a part of the rivalry in my few years playing sports in high school, I wanted to beat the crap out of Avon, whether they were good or bad or indifferent. I wanted to win by 50 points, whether it was baseball, basketball, football, soccer, whatever it was. You want to go out there and you want to win that game, and I can speak to the fact that once I changed sides, the hate in the opposite direction was pretty much equal, as on the first play of the game, the tailback for Noblesville takes it about 12 yards for a first down. And now, Drew, we don't have a roster for Noblesville, so we're going to be referring to these players by position and number alone. So if you feel like hopping in on a call at all, feel free, because you're with us as long as you want to be tonight. As Noblesville, they'll split out two to the near side, one behind the quarterback in the backfield, and they'll send a man in motion. The handoff goes up the middle to the tailback again, and this time he is stuffed by that stout Avon defensive attack. And now, Drew, what can you tell us about the Avon defense that under Coach Bless's tutelage and his defensive coordinator has really become a bit of a juggernaut here at this level?
Right. You know, defense has always been something that we preach here at Avon. We preach toughness and physicality, and obviously that comes on the defensive side of the football. And the defensive work that these coaches put in, the amount of film that they watch, and the schemes that they put together are at such a high level that it is really impressive that not only the coaches have the ability to put things like that together, but also for these kids to come out here. You know, these are high school kids running high-level defensive schemes, and that's why they have so much success. They have the coaching in place to run high-level defenses, and we have the athletes as well. The athletes are all smart enough to comprehend those schemes and put them into use on Friday nights, and it shows.
Well, and proof of that is nuclear engineering major at the University of Tennessee sitting right next to me. Here's the third down pass. It's going to be short of the first down, wrapped up by number 47 on the play. That's Caden Hubner, the junior, and that'll bring up fourth down, and the Millers will punt it away.
It was a nice job by the Avon defense there, understanding where the sticks are. Obviously, anytime the offense gets behind the sticks, you want to cover up those deep routes. You're going to give up that underneath stuff, and going from 3rd and 13 to 4th and 4 is not such a bad deal. You'll definitely cede those 9 yards in order to get the punt. So, nice job, Avon, defensively there, executing.
Low snap. It's going to be taken by Shayadovich at about the 20. He breaks a couple tackles and gets forward. Credit him with about 15 on the return. He'll be spotted at the 36-yard line, and the Orioles will have it 1st and 10 on the far side hash mark. Drew, I saw Jalen Peterson down there rocking the double sticks. Does he live up to the number? Has he had a good enough season to be worthy of the Drew Shayadovich legacy?
You know, I have been impressed by Jalen. I had the opportunity after I graduated to work with Jalen at the freshman level. I spent some time over the summer working with that freshman team when his class was at that age, and he has really developed into a nice player. He was, as many of us are, a little bit squirrely at the 9th grade level, and while he was always very athletic, sometimes it was tough for him to put some things together, and he has really turned into a nice football player and from what I have seen, had a really nice year, and definitely living up to that number 11 legacy that is so obvious.
Yeah, right. Well, Drew, you mentioned earlier the complexities of the defense, and the offensive complexities are pretty much the same. I mean, you're pretty complex and complicated offense as well as the defense. And you mentioned how Jalen's athleticism is a big factor, and usually at the younger levels, your athleticism can overshadow some of the mental parts of the game, whether it be football, basketball, soccer, whatever the sport. It can definitely be something, and so it's a testament to the coaching staff here at Avon, I think, the ability to teach some of these athletes how to learn the game. And I mean, you've got perfect credit right here at the bottom of the screen. Isaac Garendo, who is unbelievably athletic and now is going to play Big Ten football next year.
That's right. And one thing I have learned, growing up in a program like Avon, you take the football, what we call football IQ of a lot of the players for granted, I think. When you go to a lot of other programs around here, it's not always the same. And this Avon program has done a really nice job of building not only great athletes, not only smart football players, but football players who have a high football IQ, as we say, really understand the game and understand why we do things and not just how we do them.
Absolutely.
And I think that has really helped take them, again, to the next level that they've really obtained over the last few years. So credit to the coaches, the coaching staff on that. And that runs all the way down to the youth leagues and things like that. It's coaches in the community buying in. And understanding that this is a program. It is not a 4-year team. It is not a one-year team. It is a program that runs from the time you move into Avon schools until you graduate, and that's something great that goes on here.
Well, and you mentioned that, Drew, that it's by the Little League coaches and the junior high coaches, and honestly, that's something that a lot of schools have adopted from Avon and other schools like Avon who have really gone all the way down to the youth levels. And Drew, you've seen it here at Avon. It's even acclimated over to the basketball and the baseball programs where, Coach Droshi and them started the Avon Baseball Club trying to get that program philosophy type thing into the kids at a very young age. And I mean, credit these coaches at Avon because it's working out very well as they have been a perennial contender in the IHSAA tournament scene.
Right, and it too is with as many kids these days that want to specialize into one sport. Everybody has dreams and aspirations of playing at higher levels. And sometimes I think a lot of people get stuck in that specializing in one sport mentality. And that's one thing Coach Bless always harped, is that we want to develop athletes. We don't want to develop football players. We want to develop athletes. He wants his athletes to go wrestle, to play basketball, to play baseball, run track. And that's another thing, too. The more kids that you get involved at a younger age, the more they learn to love the sport and the more they become accustomed to it, and you get them locked in at an early age, and then they're ready to go all the way through the high school level. So that's just another way that Avon is not only growing its football program and its youth programs, but also this entire Avon athletic department, which has been so successful over the last few years.
Absolutely, Drew. And we're 7:29 to go here in the first quarter. Avon leads at 7-0. This is the second drive for Noblesville. Avon's first drive, they scored in 26 seconds. Now they're coming down with Noblesville's second drive. They're looking to get it on the quarterback draw. Can't do so, and that'll bring up another fourth down for Noblesville. Again, Noblesville 1-7 on the season. Their lone victory was a 45-0 win against Hamilton Heights, a 3A squad. Every other game they've played this year has been against a 6A team, and they've lost. So in a game like that, Drew, how do you maintain a level of focus against a team that you know that you're really expected to beat by a whole bunch?
It's just like you just said. It is focus, and it's understanding that every team that you play against in the Hoosier Crossroads Conference is good enough to beat you on any given night. And I think, from what I understand, we saw that a few weeks ago with Fishers. Maybe a team that on paper didn't match up with Avon as well as they should have, but then they came out and beat them. And that's things that can happen on any Friday night when you do not execute. And this Hoosier Crossroads Conference has grown to the point where it is the top 2 or 3 conferences in the state. And
in all sports.
Not only football. And it's true. Anybody from this conference can beat anybody else. And it doesn't matter where the game is being played. It doesn't matter when the game is being played. These teams are going to come out and compete, and they want to beat each other. So Noblesville is definitely not going to roll over, and hopefully we see Avon come out and not give anything away. So,
and the conversation on the field was an illegal shift declined by the Orioles. So they will, instead of having the Millers re-kick, they will take over possession. Ball spotted at the 39-yard line after Luke Edelman-Shayatovich over there made a nice little punt return. He looks like Danny Amendola or Julian Edelman out there from the Patriots getting that punt return. Here's a quick pass to Garindo on the far side, and he takes it about a 5-yard hitch route, takes it forward for about 11, and it's going to be a first down for the Orioles.
Yeah, real nice catch by Garindo there. That ball came out of Meisner's hand pretty hot. Well-timed throw, and he turned around and was ready for the ball as soon as he got there and got upfield and got a first down. Real nice play by Avon.
Now, Drew, you played with one of the best quarterbacks this school has ever seen, possibly and more likely the best this school's ever seen, in Brandon Peters. Now, a guy like Cameron Meisner here, as Garindo gets the pitch on the near side, as they look to use his athleticism in as many ways as possible. He gets forward for about 4. But talk to us about you caught passes from a guy like Brandon Peters. Talk to us about that, and then tell us what you think of Cameron Meisner in comparison with a guy like that.
Well, obviously, Brandon is a generational type quarterback that you see come through a program, and that's going to be at any level. Obviously, Brandon has moved on to the Division I level at Michigan, as we all know, and Brandon is a very special player, and it was an honor to get the chance to play with him and get to see that type of talent up close and personal, because not a lot of people get that chance. So I wish him all the best. I enjoyed getting to play with Brandon for the 2 years that I did, and I know that a lot of his success came across all 3 of his years, but I know that senior year of his when I wasn't here, that's when they made it to the semi-state and everything, and it was great for that class of Ryan Dickinson and Brandon Peters, Andrew Griffin, Matt Moore, those kids. It felt like, even though we weren't there, it was nice for us to see them win too. So that was, like I said, Brandon is a generational type quarterback with an incredible arm, incredible understanding of the game, and he's going to do some great things at the next level. And then we talk about Cameron, and I think one thing that Cameron did really well was he took that sophomore year, and when a lot of guys, you see people transfer away because they want to play as a freshman or they want to play as a sophomore, and they're so eager to get into the game, and they don't take the time to learn from the people who are ahead of them. And I think Cameron did a really nice job his sophomore year of learning everything he possibly could from Brandon, which is obviously a smart move. You want to learn as much as you can from a quarterback like that. So he has really taken everything that Coach Eric Moore has given him and everything that he could possibly have learned from Brandon in those 2 years that he was here with Brandon, and he has really showed that he's improved greatly as a passer, as a football player. His comfortability in the pocket has increased over the last few years, and he's turned into a really nice player for Avon.
As you see him make that second down completion over to Heaton, it'll be third it might be a third and very short from the 20. They got to get just shy of the 21, so third and short. And as you mentioned, Eric Moore, now there's a guy with head coach written all over him. No doubt in my mind that Eric Moore, unless he wants to stay at Avon forever, he's going to be a head coach in no time.
Yeah, that's true. And, what Eric has done with this offense, if you look at the plays that Coach Bless ran when he got here 7 or 8 years ago versus what we are running now, things have changed quite a bit. Coach Bless was a big pro offense. Make sure he's got the fullback in there.
Yeah.
Kind of offense, and that clearly has not only moved away from Avon, but moved away from the game of football altogether quite a bit. But a lot of that goes to Coach Moore, and Coach Bless still is extremely involved in the offense. But between Eric and Coley, Coley is Coach Eric Moore's brother, they put a lot of work into designing this offense and learning how to run it to the best of its ability and using all the weapons that they do have. And
what a catch. What a catch in the end zone. Is that Garindo?
That's Garindo, yeah.
Yeah, what a catch. A nice throw by Meisner to the corner, and Garindo pulls it down. The Orioles lead 13-0. And this one has the early feel of a laugher, as I feel like they're going to go with the Samson James short snap here maybe, as they've been accustomed to doing. And they do. Here's a Samson James up the middle for 2. Credit me with 2 points on that play as the Samson James short snap up the middle. I think we just caught it in the corner of your screen there. But Samson James gets ahead for a 2-point conversion. And the Orioles, who will line up, and it's not really a swinging gate but it's a different kind of formation, and it worked out as it has been for most of the year. And the Orioles are on top now, 15-0, with 3:18 to play in the first period.
Yeah, it's not quite that full swing gate formation, but it is just a regular extra point formation with looks like Sampson lined up almost behind the center as a tight wing. And obviously a player like Sampson, if you can get the ball in his hands from the 3-yard line, you're going to take that 9 times out of 10.
Absolutely. And that's another thing in a heavily passing offense like this, to have a guy like Samson James who can really, once you open up the field for him and he can get in the open spaces, I mean, there's very little people that can run with him. A state finalist in the 4x1, I think he was on. Was it the 4x1 team with him and Garindo? Hydorn will kick this one away. It's going to be taken at the 1 by the Millers, and it'll be taken toward the middle of the field and dropped at about the 10-yard line. Shy of the 10. I can't make out who the tackle was made by on that play, but one of the Orioles came up with a big hit down there.
Yeah, that's just an excellent special teams play by Avon, and as we have all night, we're going to continue to compliment this coaching staff. And one thing I remember is that the importance that is put on special teams here at Avon. Every day is at least an hour, 30 minutes to an hour on special teams. You know, you rep through them every day, and then on Thursday, obviously, you put them all together and see what you can do. But it is one thing that is taken extremely seriously. There is not only an offensive scouting report and a defensive scouting report, but there's a special teams scouting report. And it has anything that we want to do that week, anything that we think they might do that week. And they definitely are prepared for just about anything on the special team side of the ball. And they clearly come out and execute that on Friday nights.
And we mentioned with you guys, Drew just talked about how we'll be complimenting the coaching staff all night. They do a great job. And one of my favorite parts about Coach Bless is his enthusiasm to talk with the media, including us, for whatever reason he wants to talk to us. But no, we always ask Coach Bless questions and send him an email, and he's always very prompt with his responses and willing to talk about whatever you ask him. We had a few questions for him before the game. We'll talk about that at halftime. But as you mentioned, Drew, we'll be nothing but complimentary of this coaching staff, as they're very hospitable and very skilled as well. And as we've mentioned several times tonight, the way they teach this offense and defense and special teams to these guys is very impressive. And you know, part of that is Mark Shayatovich, I have to say.
Yeah, his part is he's still there, that's for sure. I give him a hard time, but he is still very involved with this program. And I know over the years, he has given a lot of his time to the development of this program. He's worked anywhere between the freshman level and the varsity level and JV. You know, he was one of the very few guys, him and Dave Ballou, who stuck around all the way through the Shelbourne administration, and then now is still here in year 8. What are we in, year 8 of the Bless administration?
Yep, this is Coach's 8th year at Avon.
So I have to definitely give him credit for that. He's stuck around through it all, and that's partly, I think, because of my brother and myself being in the program, and that helps, I'm sure. But, you know, he still gives quite a bit of time and effort to this program, and he deserves the recognition. So kudos to him for that.
And here come the Millers once again. They'll drop back to pass. They're looking over the middle on an in route. I think they got him. Yeah, it's going to be their second first down, of the evening, as they got a 1st and 10 now at the near side 20-yard line.
It's like a real loose zone there on the outside. Jumped the first slant, and then the slant that followed right behind him didn't get anybody to jump that. And that's always been kind of a key on Coach Bombi's defense. Is he has always preached that no high school coordinator has the patience to throw hitches and slants all the way down the field at this level. So he will give that up over giving up anything over the top any day of the week. So not surprising to see that from Bombi's defense. You'd like to see a little bit more pressure maybe on 3rd and short, but that's definitely going to be something that his defense is going to give up, especially in this field position.
Well, you mentioned pressure on the quarterback, Drew. That's something that this Avon defensive line over the last several years has really been good at. Having guys like Elijah Daniel back in the day, and then what's the name of the kid that played with you? CJ?
We had A.J. Elcock.
A.J. Elcock was
Duffin.
really solid. Duffin, I remember. Then you got guys this year like Matthew Brom and Nathaniel James and Trey Howell just really getting in there and getting after it. And the linebacking core has always been a big part of this 3-3-5 stack type defense as well.
Yeah, that's one thing. Like I said, when you have kids as strong, as fast, and as physical as Avon does, and that goes back to the weight room and everything that we talk about going into this program, but when you have the athletes to run this kind of defense, it can be really effective. You just have to have the right personnel, and luckily for Avon, it's a huge school. It has a great talent pool to choose from, and it has kids that want to work hard, get better, faster, and stronger, and they can play these positions, and they can play this defense pretty well.
So it's going to be the once again, it's going to be fourth down here, or third down and about 5 on the 29-yard line. A tight spread formation here, and a fake handoff up the middle. And giving chase is, it looks like Morrell. He couldn't quite pull him down. Interception, and it's taken at the near side. Cuts back, going back, and I believe that's
like
Sammy
Conley.
Bullock.
That's Conley.
Nathan Conley, the junior Nathan Conley on the interception on third down. And the Orioles are going to have phenomenal field position here at the 30-yard line.
Great job by Nathan Conley, reading the quarterback's eyes, understanding where the receivers are on the field. Big mistake by the Noblesville quarterback there, throwing across your body, especially in this territory on third down. That's a tough throw to make, and Conley saw it coming all the way, and he jumped it and made a nice return.
That's one of those cardinal sins, Drew. Late over the middle is always a bad decision, and this time it paid off big time for the Orioles as they'll take over 1st and 10 here from their own 29, or from the Millers 29-yard line. 2 receivers to the top, 2 to the bottom. James flanks Meisner to his right in the backfield. Calls the count, looking to pass here. Looking, now he's going to look over the middle. He has Garindo caught near the 5-yard line. He dropped it. He got it knocked out of his hands. It was almost caught. But Meisner looking over the middle for Garindo.
Real nice play by the Noblesville safety there, understanding the route combination, staying over the top of that post route, and he made a really nice play on that ball.
Yeah, especially with Meisner looking off. Looks like he was looking towards Shayadovich on the right side, and then he flipped his vision back over to the other side. And Garindo looks like he's a little bit ginger. He's holding that right arm by his side, not moving it a whole lot.
Yeah, that's a tough throw to make, especially against this too-high safety look that they were given on the last formation. Anytime you try and hit that seam window against a too-high safety look, it's going to be tough. It's going to take a good throw, and it's going to take a nice catch.
And nice play call there as you use Garindo for the misdirection. And Isaac Garindo will run off the field with what looks like a shoulder. He's not really moving that right arm very much, and the trainer will give him a look. I don't want to make any assumptions, but it's possibly a dislocation or something like that, as the trainer is going to talk to him right now. And that'll be the end of the first quarter. We'll go to a quick message from our sponsors and be back here in a moment on AudioSportsOnline.com. Reynolds Body Shop has been family-owned and operated for 30 years, providing collision repair. They're located at 4325 West Washington Street in Indianapolis, just 4 stoplights east of 465. Open Monday through Friday from 7:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Learn more about them on the web at reynoldsbodyshop.com or give them a call at 317-243-2372. That's 317-243-2372. McNamara Florist has been in business since 1954 with 8 locations, including the Avon store on Rockville Road, and offer floral designs for various occasions. Located at 9655 East Highway 36 in Avon, you can call them at 579-7900. That's 579-7900. Red Cobra Wrestling offers training sessions from Chad Red. They're located at 9233 East Highway 36 in Avon, across the street from Walmart and behind sidelines in the Red Brick Building. They offer sessions for all ages, including 3rd grade and under, and 4th grade and up. Learn more at redcobrawrestlingacademy.com. And finally, Dr. Timothy Greer, DDS, and Dr. Christopher LaFave of Avon Dental Center have been practicing in Hendricks County on families for over 20 years. Located in Avon's Beechwood Center, just east of Ivy Tech. They're open Monday through Friday, although early morning hours are available. More information at 317-272-8100 or online at avondentalcenter.com. All right, we're back here at Avon High School. We're going to swap sides of the field real quick. And Cameron Meisner and company will take over. It's going to be 1st and 10. Ball spotted at about the 19-yard line. There we go. We'll zoom out. Should be able to get the rest of the play in there. And here's the handoff up the middle to James. James just going to bowl forward and roll over a couple defenders and have an easy first down there on about a 12-yard carry.
Samson James, another Avon guy who has continued to grow in his physicality, his speed, and just really turned into a really nice football player. And he's obviously just a junior, but throughout the week I know he's picked up a couple offers from some Big Ten schools, and he's going to continue to be a huge part of this Avon offense, especially if they make a nice playoff run here and into next season, and hopefully at the next level as well.
Well, right, you mentioned next season, Drew, as they won't have the vaunted passing attack, and there's a pass to Shayatovich, and it's in the end zone for a touchdown. Luke Shayatovich on the score.
Another nice throw by Meisner. Obviously, getting the chance to watch Luke and Cam grow up over the years and play together for so many years has turned into quite the connection here at the high school level. That's a really nice throw by Cam. Pretty tight coverage on the goal line. That's something that they do all the time, though. You know, they always want to go to that pylon, that front pylon. They love the back shoulder fade from there. They love that whip route that he just ran there. And that's been extremely successful for them over the last few years.
And the kick blocked. And you mentioned, Drew, earlier, Meisner having to grow up behind Peters, and Shayatovich, Luke having to do the same thing behind a bevy of great receivers for Avon. Your good friend Andrew Griffin, another one of your good friends, Braden Luce, who played as when Luke was a freshman. A couple of really good receivers that Luke has had to grow up behind, and as you mentioned, Cameron had to do the same thing behind Brandon, so they got to grow up together on the JV squad for a couple years, and that probably helped a lot.
That's right, and that's just another thing about Avon's depth. And you get to a program like this, you get to a school of this size, and depth is so important in not only building success for 1 year, but building a program and having that continued success over multiple years, because kids do have time to develop. You know, a lot of these players at Avon, seniors, they would have opportunities to play for all 4 years at some smaller schools, but rather than transferring to those smaller schools to play constantly, they understand that it takes time to learn to become a great football player, and they trust that process, and then they make the most of their time when they do get on the field.
Heidorn's kick heads into the end zone for a touchback, and the Millers will have it once again from their own 20. Orioles now lead it by a score of 21-0 with 11:35 to play in the second quarter. Back out come the Millers on offense. Again, they have that tight spread look. They'll send a man in motion on the jet sweep. They will fake the handoff now, and the quarterback will take it himself, and he gets forward for just shy of 10. It's going to be second down and about a yard.
You know, one of the biggest keys to stopping an offense like this with the zone read that has become so popular lately in the game of football is you have to have great eye discipline from your linebackers. You have to have great responsibility from your defensive line. Everybody is assigned to a man, and if you try and do somebody else's job, you're going to give up a 9-10-yard gain like they just did here. You have to have the discipline from your linebackers to keep their eyes on their back. You know, there's certain linebackers in this scheme who are in charge of the quarterback. There's certain backers who are in charge of the tailback. That's a great play there. He's going back for going to the house.
That's Jabin Carter, the senior, coming up from his cornerback position, reading the eyes of the quarterback, and coming up with a big INT pick six for the Orioles, and now they lead at 27-0. Man, what a play there by Carter, Drew.
Actually, it looks like that may have been Cameron Moulton, the junior corner.
And there's the up back snap again, and it's no call yet, no good. And the Orioles' second try of a two-pointer is no good. And let's see, give us just a second here.
This is a great job by the corner there, understanding, like we talked about earlier, Avon gave up a 3rd and short where they ran a route to the sticks and kind of let them catch it underneath, and that was a much better job by the Avon defense of understanding where the sticks are for the first down and knowing that that's where Noblesville wants to throw the football. You don't want to throw the ball way beyond the sticks. They're trying to get that first down, and they made a really nice jump on the route and took it in for a touchdown.
So we'll stick with you here on the podcast. The live stream has stopped for the moment as the Wi-Fi connection is a little bit spotty here up in the press box. But we'll stick with you here. We will disconnect and reconnect at halftime. So for those of you who are watching us via podcast, you will have to close out at halftime and reestablish with the second link that we have on here. So no worries. But we will keep going here. Those of you who are, again, watching us via podcast, we appreciate you sticking with us here as the handoff goes up the middle, and he's going to be stopped by a bevy of Orioles here at the line of scrimmage.
May see Noblesville dive into a bag of tricks here soon. It's clear so far throughout the first quarter, a little over a quarter, that Avon's defense is too fast, too physical for this Noblesville offense right now, and they're just kind of being outmanned. They're not running anything that Avon's not ready for and that Avon doesn't have the ability to stop.
As Drew, seems like the case every time the Orioles play an opponent. Honestly, their defense has just incredible ability to make a lot of stops. And Morrell almost coming up with the interception there. And now it'll be third down from about the 21.
When you put teams like this Noblesville offense, you put a team like this in a bind, it's because of your great linebacker play most of the time. These Avon linebackers have the ability to fill on any run play, but then they also have the ability to get into pass coverage and cover people in space, and that's what makes running this type of offense tough against such an athletic defense like this, is that they really do have the ability, no matter the personnel, to take away anything that you want to do. So they've done a really nice job with that tonight.
And a penalty flag is going to be thrown. I believe they're going to call this pass interference. Yep, defensive pass interference on the Orioles. And that'll bring up an easy first down for the Millers. And if you're the Orioles, Drew, the only way that you can get beat by this Miller team is if you have silly mistakes. And it seems like that might have been one there on a route that went shy of the first down marker.
Yeah, that's game understanding, knowing where again, like we talk about, where are the sticks on any given third down, what routes are they running, and what is this offense trying to do, and understanding the game a little bit more. As great, we compliment these kids all night and talk about how high their football IQ is and how smart of football players they are. They are, between the ages of 15 and 18, and they are going to make mistakes. And that's just something you have to live with at the high school football level. But they're still going to show up and play the next play and give you everything they got.
And the Noblesville quarterback chased out of the pocket, gets away, but a penalty flag in the backfield, likely a hold. A block in the back, and that'll bring the play back 10 yards, 5 yards?
10 yards from the spot. So
10 yards from the
spot.
spot.
About a 15-yard penalty as it was in the backfield here.
Going to test out the connection, Drew, so feel free to keep calling the game to the best of your abilities.
I'll see what I can do here. Really nice pressure. Just as, we were just complimenting the Avon linebackers on how well they play the run and then how well they can play the pass. And then, of course, here they come shooting through the line on a great blitz and getting some great quarterback pressure. So there's too many weapons, and it's the same thing that we see from the Avon offense. It's really hard offense to stop because they do have so many weapons and they can spread you out, and then they do the same thing on defense. Just when you think you can try and attack one weak spot, and they're still there ready to play. So this is going to be a fun team to watch over the next few weeks in the playoff run.
2nd and 30. Sorry, 2nd and 30 is just kind of funny to me.
Not a lot of plays in the offensive playbook for 2nd and 30.
No. Just go out there and run the fumble rooski.
That's right, yeah, just see what you can do and try and get it to where you don't have to punt from your own end zone, I guess. But this will be another opportunity for Avon's defense to make a really smart play here and understand the situation, keeping everything in front from a defensive back standpoint. The defensive line here is going to get a great opportunity to pin their ears back and go after the quarterback. You might see some good pressure here.
Here's the drop back, looking deep, has a man just over his hands though.
Looked like
and
Peterson over there. Real
coverage
nice
by
coverage
number
down the
11, Jalen Peterson on the defense there, and looks like a fourth down, and that'll bring up the punting unit.
Real good technique from Peterson there. Like you said, anytime you get a receiver down the sideline, that corner is taught to squeeze him towards the sideline, try and get him out of bounds. Obviously, we all know if you're out of bounds, you can't catch the football. So, real nice defense from Peterson there, understanding they're probably going to go deep and try and get that first down, and he was ready for it.
Here's the kick to Shayatovich. He'll take it and bring it to the near side now. He's got a block
Real
and
nice
some
block
room.
there
They're setting up a wall, and he'll step out of bounds. Credit Shayatovich. Let's see where they pick up the beanbag at about the 44. So give him credit with about a 29-yard return on the play. Yep, 29 exactly. Nope. Hold on, let me do math real quick. 10, 24. 24 on the play. 24 on the return for Shayatovich, and the Orioles have it first and 10 now.
Real nice job by the Avon punt return there. That was clearly a return left type situation. They had set up a real nice wall to the left side, got a couple nice blocks around the edge that sprung him there.
Oh, nice stiff arm by Samson James, and the patience to not run it out of bounds, but cut it up and get a couple more extra yards. Here come the Orioles again. Here's Meisner faking the pitch. Now looking over to Shayatovich. A nice catch by Luke. Sliding for the catch at the 10-yard line.
Nice job there taking what the defense is giving them. It's almost the same route that we saw Garendo run on the other end of the field on the last possession. But Avon that time ran it much shorter and much tighter, staying underneath that safety and not giving that safety an opportunity to come up and make a play on the ball. Meisner made a really nice throw. Almost looked like it was intentionally underthrown to keep it short of that safety and pick up a nice gain.
And you mentioned that Garendo post route that he possibly injured his shoulder on. Did they throw a flag for horse collar on that one?
Mask maybe, yeah.
Yeah, horse collar is going to be the call on that one. And you mentioned, Drew, the Garendo post route that he came up injured on, and now he's back in the game. Doesn't seem to be holding his shoulder at all. So another good news thing for the Orioles there, as Garendo is okay, and the Orioles will have a first and goal inside the 10.
Yeah, there's so many opportunities in this game to, you fall funny, you get tackled in an awkward way, and a lot of times they are just those little stingers that go away. So it's good to see Garendo get back out there and not have anything serious.
And it looks like our live connection is back up and running. We want to thank Jason Dozier back in the booth for flipping the switches, and we want to thank you for sticking with us as the Orioles have it first and goal here from the 5, and they'll hand it off to James, looking for a seam. I think he's found one. Fights over.
Just short.
And they're going to call him short, yeah. And we don't have the benefit of a pylon cam out here, so we can't tell you whether he made it or not, but second down and goal. And this is generally an area where the Orioles will send Meisner under center and run a quarterback sneak, or just hand it off up the middle to James. But as you mentioned, Drew, one of their favorite routes to run is that fade, and you got Shayatovich all by himself over here on the near side of the field.
Yeah, as much as they do love that route, I don't see them running it here. It was just a little too close to the end zone. That's more of a 5 to 10 yard line type route where you can kind of catch the defense sleeping. But real nice run there, obviously, from Sampson. Get it in from 1 yard out.
Yeah, as you mentioned, James running it in from a yard out, and the Orioles will send on their kicking unit. Best holder in the game out there, Luke Shayatovich. If I'm not mistaken, there was another Shayatovich that used to be the holder here at Avon, right?
There was. It's a legacy that lives on. It's been going on for the last, I guess, what would be the last 6 years or so.
And a lofty legacy, I might add.
To say the least.
Those of you joining us on the live stream, you'll also get a chance to watch this again tonight if you are in the Indianapolis metro area on WHMB 40. They are broadcasting this game in a delayed broadcast. Usually that goes live at about 10:30, I believe. And I know I would, as soon as I get home, I'll be turning on Channel 40 to see this game in action. Because we all know that the live stream won't be, or the podcast won't be posted until tomorrow morning. Here's the snap, the kick, and it is once again a touchback into the end zone for Hydorn. The senior left-footed kicker has been doing a great job for his years here at the school, and another touchback there into the end zone for Justin.
Yeah, from what I've seen, Justin has really great control over his leg. Obviously, he has the ability to put it into the end zone every time, but when Avon wants to take a chance and try and pooch something down there and get the coverage down and maybe make a play inside the 20, he's always ready for his number to be called for that, and he puts it where it needs to be for Avon to go down and make a play.
Well, and you mentioned, Drew, leg control, and Hydorn's only been kicking footballs for 4 years.
Yeah.
I mean, to have that kind of prowess for kicking a ball, I know Pat McAfee talks about it jokingly a lot, but it's not an easy thing to do, to kick an oblong ball a long way. As here's the pass to the near side. It's going to be caught but out of bounds for an incompletion. Yeah, not a very easy thing to do, kicking an oblong ball a long way and controlling what it does. So definitely an impressive thing for Justin Hydorn to be able to do that. And looks like Samson James on defense out there. That's something I don't think we see very often.
Yeah, I think he is playing that, looks like maybe a nickelback, rolling down there a little bit, and maybe uses athleticism, get a decent look, and maybe something that we might see going forward as Avon hopefully makes a nice run into late November.
And the Orioles have it back again. 34-0, Drew. 6:03 to play here in the second quarter. The Orioles won 41-0 last week. When as a coach, as a high school football coach, when do you call off the dogs?
It's hard. No matter what the score is, it's hard to call anything off in the first half. We've seen crazy things happen. Whether Noblesville comes back to make this an interesting game or not, I think it's definitely not out of the question that they could get back into this game in the second half. So it's hard to call off anybody this early in the game, but it is something that you want to be aware of as we go.
In the same right, Drew, you've got a sectional to prepare for, which you're going to face Southport, and we'll talk about that a little bit more at halftime. But you're going to face a Southport team that is coming into this week at 5-3, so they're going to be over 500 when you face them, and you're not going to play again for 2 weeks because you get next week off, as the 6A bracket has a smaller number of teams, so they don't play the first Friday of the sectionals. So Avon will get this next week off, and so these guys won't play another football game until the 27th of October. And it's not really a situation where you want to have a guy have sat for technically 6 straight quarters and not be ready to play in 2 weeks. So I definitely agree with you. It's tough to call them off in the first half, but you also have the perspective of a sectional tournament where you're kind of a fine line between, do I want to get these guys reps or do I want to keep them preventing from injury? So definitely something as a coaching staff you got to think about.
Yeah, it's a decision that every coach makes on an individual basis, and there is no right decision, I don't think, and it all has to do with your team and how they respond to different situations, and hopefully the Avon staff has prepared for that, and they have a good understanding of how their players operate and what their players need to succeed over the next few weeks. So hopefully they're ready, and they'll make the right decision here.
Of course, those of us that are Colts fans understand that There's been several occasions where the Colts, a professional team, have rested their starters, and it did not turn out the best. So here come the Orioles now. Handoff goes up the middle to Jabin Carter this time, and he'll be stopped short of the line of scrimmage.
I think what we're really starting to see here is that this Avon team is coming together really nicely, and they are definitely poised to make a long run into November. And that loss to Fishers a few weeks ago may have jump-started this team and may have been just what they needed. I know it hurts from a record standpoint and from a conference championship standpoint. It's not great in that aspect, but that might have been one of the best things that could have happened to this team.
As looks like Meisner was looking over the middle for senior tight end Adrian Lozano. Couldn't find him, and that'll bring up 3rd down and 10 from just outside of the 15-yard line. And, Drew, you mentioned it, playing deep into November. The ultimate goal is to go into Thanksgiving Day with a diet in mind and a food budget kind of, so that I have to check out what I eat today, because tomorrow I'm going to be playing the biggest game of my life. And as the Orioles, I'm sure, can attest to, you really want to be playing the day after Thanksgiving.
Yeah, if you have to change your Thanksgiving plans, it's not the worst thing around this part of the country.
You want to handle that one?
I was. That was a pretty well thrown ball by Cameron Meisner. Shayadovich was open on the play and unfortunately did not make the catch. Had some pressure coming from the inside, and unfortunately 9 times out of 10 that's a catch he makes, but this happened to be that one that he didn't. He'll come back and get the next one.
And you see Garendo coming off the field once again. He's kind of gingerly holding that arm, and he's lifting it up over his head. You can see him just there at the bottom of your screen. Here's the Hydorn kick on the way. It is up, and it looks good, and it is. The Orioles now lead it by a score of 37-0.
Yeah, Garendo looking like maybe just got, like we said earlier, one of those stingers where he's keeping it loose now, and he probably feels pretty good. Nothing too serious. In the morning, I'm sure he'll be plenty sore after sleeping on it and letting it get nice and tight overnight. So
yeah,
they're trying to keep him as loose as they can on the sidelines here on the defense. Well, we're on defense and making sure he's ready to go for the rest of this game.
Yeah, and like we mentioned a few minutes ago, Drew, with a big lead like this, you do have to be mindful of not only making sure that you don't rub it in too much, but you got to make sure your players are healthy come sectional time. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Garendo held out at least for the second half, maybe the rest of the first half as well, in a game that I mean, as everybody has predicted, Noblesville really never had a chance in. Now I know the Orioles had a big lead at halftime of the Fishers game as well, but this is a little bit different scenario as the Fishers attack is a lot stronger. And here comes another touchback from Justin Hydorn, and the Millers offense will take over at the 20, looking to get it across the 50-yard line for the first time.
That is one of the nice things. We talk about how deep Avon is as a program, both on the defensive and offensive side of the football. And something like this happens. If it happens in this game, obviously it's not ideal, but it is not the end of the world to have an injury on either side of the football. Obviously, you hurt for that player, and you want these kids to be able to soak up every opportunity that they can, because we all know that high school football does not last forever, and these kids want to go out there and play. But it's nice to have that depth and have options at almost every position.
Handoff goes up the middle and knocked down at the line of scrimmage, gaining just about a yard as number 7. And it looks like, I believe that is a new quarterback in there. Number 14 was a starter, but number 12 is in there now at quarterback for the Millers. And there's 3 receivers to the top, 1 to the bottom. And here's the handoff going to the near side. And number 7 looking toward the edge. Can't really get very much at all. Give him credit with about 2 on the carry. It's going to be 3rd down and about 7. for the Millers.
Not much going on there for the Noblesville offense. We see the back continue to try and stretch to the sideline, try and beat that Avon defense, but you're just not going to beat this defense. They're too fast and they're too athletic to try and outrun them. Real nice job keeping that contained and just keep making them stretch it on out, and eventually you're going to meet the sideline.
So third down, give them 3rd and 8 here. 3 receivers to the top, 1 to the bottom of the formation. And the quarterback is flanked in the backfield, and I believe they're going to call encroachment. Offsides on the Orioles. Excuse me, I've got HSE on the mind. I've been covering them for the past few weeks. The Orioles, and let's be real, if I was doing Avon all season, I'd call them the Royals 9 times out of 10.
That mistake anyway.
That's right. I'm the king of mistakes.
It will be interesting to see here what Avon does defensively. Are they going to bring pressure? And it depends if they're expecting Noblesville to run the ball or throw the ball here. I haven't had the opportunity to watch them enough to have an idea what they might do. You might see the corners press up a little bit more than they have been and expect to throw, like we talked about, right to the sticks here if they do throw the ball.
And the zone read here this time, and it's going to be close. I believe he's got enough for the first down.
What little success Noblesville has had on offense tonight a lot of it has come from that quarterback run. Like we talked about, it's Avon's defense losing a little bit of their discipline and losing their eyes to the wrong backs and falling for too many fakes when they need to be focusing on their own responsibilities and not doing other people's jobs out there.
All right, here's the handoff. No, he's going to keep it himself again on the zone read, and very well covered that time by the Orioles.
That's one great thing we talk about. This football team is smart, and they're going to learn throughout the game. And you fool them once or twice, it's not going to last long. They're going to get things figured out. This staff is going to get them straightened out, and you're not going to beat them with the same play over and over again all night long.
And with 2:35 now to go before halftime, it's 2nd and 11. And there's the snap, dropping back, looking, giving chase are the Orioles. He's getting it out of bounds, and he just throws it out. Several Orioles giving chase on the play. Looks like number 25 out there, 35, excuse. I can never see these camo numbers.
The camo numbers are tough, especially from up here. I always made fun of the broadcasters for saying that when I was playing with them because I love those jerseys. But now that I'm up here on the other side of things, it is tough, I will admit.
Let's be real. The jerseys are sick.
They are very cool jerseys. And I think they're better look with the white pants, but I do like the all-black look.
That is a pretty sweet look.
A good look. Avon's got a couple of real nice looks with the uniforms.
Now, when are we going to get gold jerseys? That's what I want to know.
Hopefully never.
You didn't like the gold baseball jerseys we had?
Baseball's a little different than football.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
I picked those gold baseball jerseys out.
I know you did. That's why I'm trying to put you on the spot here. Some sort of a penalty flag, I guess. There's a discussion going on in the field.
What I think may have happened, it looked like Noblesville may have been setting up a screen there, and as their offensive linemen released to allow the Avon defensive linemen through the line to set up the screen, I think a few of the Noblesville offensive linemen got tripped up, which is what caused the quarterback to roll away from the screen, but then he did throw the ball away.
Oh, they call grounding because you're not allowed to ground the ball legally in high school. That's right. Yeah, there was no receiver in the area, and in high school, and whether you're out of the pocket or not, you've got to throw it near a offensive player on your team, and so that's the call is grounding on the play, which picks up a big loss, and they'll send back Shayatovich, the Orioles, to receive the kick here. We've seen a couple bad snaps, and the Orioles have had a couple chances to block it tonight. A good snap that time, though, and the left boot into it, and Shayatovich calls for the fair catch at about the 45, just shy of the 45 at the 47, and that's where the Orioles will take over. 1st down and 10.
Yeah, like we talked about all game, you wonder what Avon's going to do with a lead like this, going with so much time to go. But it'll be interesting to see with 2:21 and 3 timeouts what they do here with the ball. If they do try and put the ball in the end zone, or if they play it pretty conservative. We'll see what Coach Bless wants to do.
Well, this is not really a rivalry game, so not a game you're really trying to dismantle your opponent. You're just trying to get a win here and take home the conference crown. Now here's Meisner dropping back to pass. He's looking, he was looking deep originally, but then he throws it short over the middle to Shayatovich, And Shahatovich has a nice little 20-yard gain there, as it looked like Meisner was going to look for either the wheel or the deep post route, and instead he just flipped it over the middle to Luke Shea, and Shea got forward for about 20. It's going to be 1st and 10 with 2:11, and the ball's on the 34.
I actually watched them work on that play in warm-up, so I'm not so sure it wasn't a design play to run everybody deep and have Meisner give that deep look to pull the entire defense deep down the field, and obviously Shahatovich was left all by himself, and he just got the ball in space and got upfield.
Here's the handoff to Carter. He gets forward. Looks like he's going to gain about 5 on the play near the near side hash mark. Yeah, give him credit with 5. It's going to be 2nd down and 5. Now, the sectionals we broadcast will be audio-only sectionals. So if you're going to turn us on and look for us during the sectional, don't expect to have video accompanying the audio. We are only licensed to do audio for that. So the pass over the middle to Garindo is incomplete, and it's going to be 3rd and 5.
Yeah, that's one of the few throws that Meisner has missed all night, and he's over the last few seasons has become incredibly consistent with his passing and really put up some good numbers, but he definitely missed that one there. Definitely had an opportunity to pick up a 1st down to get the 3rd and 4 here.
And now, Drew, you coach in another state. Indiana, one of the few states where everybody makes the postseason. Does it work like that in Virginia, or is it a little bit different?
It is different both in Virginia and Tennessee, actually. And when I tell everybody that I coach with that everybody in Indiana makes the playoffs, they're pretty confused. So it is a lot different format. We play 10 regular season games with a bye, so it's actually an 11-week season versus the 9-week season that we see here in Indiana. But they eliminate teams before the playoffs, so not everybody gets that chance to make a playoff run. But I think that's one thing that the IHSAA has done a really nice job of is you never know what can happen when you start playing in October and November, and you give every team a chance like that. And I think it's good for the sport, it's good for the state, and it's good for these schools that everybody gets to compete in that championship mentality.
Oh, and Jabin Carter
nice
just turns on the jets there, and he stopped just shy of the goal line. But it looks like he was shot out of a cannon there. And it'll be 1st and goal from the 4 as the Orioles look to push this one in. And here are the Orioles looking to punch it in. 1st and goal from the 4. Again, Shahatovich alone on the near side, and they're going to call a timeout and take one right here with a 1st and goal and 39 seconds to play, and the Orioles threatening to make it a 43-0 deficit here.
Yeah, I do think in that formation we were just in, I think Coach Bless obviously wants to continue to get senior Jabin Carter some touches in this game. In his senior night, he's really turned into a really nice back, but unfortunately he just kind of stuck in the mix with Samson James, and that's just what happens sometimes. You get a Big Ten type back, and it's tough to play. While Jabin is a really nice player, it's tough to compete with other players who are at that Big Ten type recruiting level. So it's really nice to see him get some really high quality carries here. Wouldn't be surprised to see Coach Bless give him a few touches inside the 5 here, try and get him in the end zone.
Well, and excuse me, Drew, but also a chance to get some major carries in the second half of a blowout game, and you get a chance to have all your seniors play considerable minutes in the second half as well, at least the non-starting seniors that don't get a chance to play very often. And on a senior night when you're in such a lead, you get a chance to get those guys on the field.
Yeah, and that's a great opportunity. And like we talked about before, incomplete.
That was close.
You know, as we talked about before, with Avon has developed such a great program mentality that it's not the senior class and the junior class and the freshman class and the sophomore class out there. It is the Avon football program, and everybody who is on the sideline right now and a part of this program has put in a lot of time and really dedicated themselves to this team. So they all deserve to go out on that high note, and they all deserve the recognition that they will get tonight.
Drew, that pass was intended for Garindo, who is holding his shoulder once again. That's got to be a dislocation, as it looks like it's popped out once again. Here's Shayatovich in motion. Carter gets the handoff. He is wrapped up after the line of scrimmage. And I'm thinking the Orioles will probably take a timeout here, yeah.
Yep.
They'll take a timeout here on 3rd and goal and decide what play to run to get it pushed into the end zone.
And now you get 3rd down from the 4-yard line. This type of game, this is more the situation you might see that back shoulder throw, especially with Garindo out of the game right now. This is where you might see the Meisner-Shayatovich back shoulder throw.
The Mai-Shea connection.
Yeah, it has become quite the connection of the last few years, and they've really perfected that back shoulder throw. But at the same time, other teams watch film and they know that's something that Avon likes to do. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Noblesville ready to defend it. But at the same time, Meisner and Shayatovich have learned to execute that at a really high level. So we'll see. Should be an exciting play here on 3rd down.
Well, and Drew, you mentioned Eric Moore influence that this offense has. And I tell you, he used to do the same thing a lot with Andrew Griffin and Matt Moore when Brandon was playing quarterback for the Orioles.
Yeah, it's a little easier to throw that back shoulder fade to a 6-foot, anywhere between 6 foot and 6'2" receiver who's over 200 pounds. It's a little different when you're throwing to the 5'9" Shayatovich, but they decided to go with the slant route there, which isn't a bad option, especially in man coverage. That's a tough man coverage route to defend, and maybe had him there. Tough throw to make, tough catch to make, and Noblesville defended it nicely.
Yeah, and the Orioles will bring on the kicking unit. Looking to make it 40-0 here is Heidorn. Shayatovich will hold. Ethan Warren to snap. And the 22-yard field goal is up and through, and with 15 seconds to play, the Orioles lead it by a score of 40-0.
We did just get word that they did take Isaac Garindo to the locker room a little bit early here. You do hope for Isaac's sake and for this team's sake that he is okay and that it's nothing too serious, and that hopefully this is a precautionary move by Avon and the training staff to maybe get him out of this game early and start getting him some treatment and maybe evaluated. But you hope for the best for Isaac. He's had a really, really nice year, and you hope he's all right going forward into the playoffs here.
Yeah, absolutely, Drew. Especially, you got a young kid with all kinds of future potential in front of him, heading to Wisconsin next year in the Big Ten, and definitely hope the best for Isaac, and improving his health. And this is a situation where you're really thankful that you have 2 weeks before your next game. You get guys like that who are banged up to come back and be healthy.
Yeah, and I know we talked about, when is the time to, in a game like this to pull some players out. And I don't think that is an injury that you look back on and wish that you hadn't had him in the game. It is the game of football, and
right, absolutely.
Players are going to get hurt, and you cannot play to avoid injury.
Right.
And unfortunately, sometimes things happen, and that's what we had here happen in the first half. But in no way do I think Coach Bless made a mistake by having him in the game at either point in time here.
Well, and it was only 14-0 when he heard it.
First time.
So here's the Millers are content with trailing by 40 heading into halftime with 15 seconds. They'll sit on it, kneel it, and we will head to halftime here. We'll keep the broadcast locked in the middle for the halftime show, and we will let you have anything you want at halftime. We'll see you in about 20 minutes. All righty, folks. Welcome back here at audiosportsonline.com. I'm Marcus Fredwell, your host, joining you here at halftime of tonight's contest between the Avon Orioles and the Noblesville Millers. Those of you just joining us, you've missed a laugher so far. The Orioles took the first drive of the ball game down 26 seconds, scored a touchdown, made it 7-0. Shortly thereafter, intercepted a ball, got it into the end zone. Made it 15-0, and several more touchdowns later and a couple of field goals. The Orioles lead it here at halftime by a score of 40-0. Just an absolute demolishment right now is going on one side of the field. It has been such an Avon-heavy attack so far that Noblesville with the ball towards the end of the first half just decided to kneel on it. And run it into halftime, trailing 40-0. So the Orioles have been absolutely dominant all night long, and I don't see any signs of it changing. Look for a lot of the starters to cede to seniors and backup players in the second half, as we are again in a 40-0 Avon lead here. They won at 41-0 at Zionsville last week, but Noblesville doesn't have near the talent that Zionsville does, and Zionsville is thanking the fact that they don't have to play Avon this week. So the Orioles clicking on all cylinders. One minor setback for the Orioles is that of Isaac Garindo, senior captain wide receiver, Wisconsin-bound. Isaac Garindo was taken into the locker room just before the end of the first half, as you will see the Orioles jog their way back onto the field here at the bottom of your screen. Isaac Garindo exited at the end of the first half with a shoulder injury is what it looks like. I believe it's going to be a dislocation. I look for him to be held out for the rest of the ball game, as they definitely don't want to see him getting hurt before the sectional. The Orioles will have the next week off. They'll practice, of course, but they will not play Friday, as they do have the benefit of a week break in between final game of the regular season and the start of sectionals. So definitely look for that to be a factor, but I don't think we'll see Garindo again the rest of the night, and we're likely to have a mainly JV-heavy lineup for the rest of the ball game here, as the Orioles lead it big once again, 40-0. We're going to pay a couple bills here real quick, and then we'll get back to you with getting ready for the second half here on audiosportsonline.com. I want to thank all of our sponsors. Reynolds Body Shop has been family-owned and operated for 30 years, providing collision repair, and they're located at 4325 West Washington Street in Indianapolis. just 4 stoplights east of 465. Open Monday through Friday, 7:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Learn more about them on the web at reynoldsbodyshop.com or give them a call at 317-243-2372. McNamara Florist has been in business since 1954 with 8 locations, including the Avon store on Rockville Road, and they offer floral designs for various occasions. Located at 9655 East Highway 36 in Avon, and can be reached 317-579-7900. Red Cobra Wrestling offers training sessions from Chad Red. They're located at 923 East Highway 36 in Avon, across the street from Walmart and behind sidelines in the Red Brick Building, and have boasted several state finalists and champions over the last several years. They offer sessions for all ages, including 3rd grade and under and 4th grade and up, including the high school age kids as well. Learn more at redcobrawrestlingacademy.com. Dr. Timothy Greer, DDS, and Dr. Christopher LaFave of Avon Dental Center have been practicing in Hendricks County for over 20 years. Located in Avon's Beechwood Center area, just east of Ivy Tech. They're open Monday through Friday, although early morning hours on the weekend are available. More information is available by calling them at 317-272-8100 or at avondentalcenter.com. Okay, Marcus Fredwell here with you, audiosportsonline.com. We appreciate you joining us for tonight's contest as we bring you, get ready to bring you second half action. We had a momentary connection mishap about an hour or so ago. So those of you who stuck with us, we appreciate that. We will, at this time, it looks like we will only post one stream as we look to not disconnect at halftime and stay connected throughout the entire second half. So we should be able to post one stream, which is going to be nice for me because that saves me a whole bunch of time at the end of the game. A minute 57 to go before we will get the second half underway. Again, look for a lot of the JV guys to get some time in the second half, and we will try to talk to you a bit about what we're going to see. I think the Orioles will probably send out the offensive unit for maybe the first drive or two, but look for the Orioles to quickly go to the second string, and I believe we have confirmed that Isaac Garenda will not see the field in the second half. We haven't seen him come out here yet. I can't quite. Sorry, I almost went to Dan St. Paul or whatever the guy's name is, and can't quite make out of the back of his robe. It is the big number 12 Moses. No. Let's see. I don't see Garendo over there anywhere. Yeah, I don't see him yet, which is a sign that he may be in the locker room right now. Cameron Meisner and Luke Shiatovich doing their regular routine that they do at halftime, coming out, making a couple more throws, getting ready for the second half. And we're going to run over what we expect to happen in the sectional here. Give us just a second. We'll get to that as we look to see these sectional pairings here this week. As the draw was last week. So in our bracket of the sectionals, you have Avon is going to play at Southport next week, or excuse me, in 2 weeks. Perry Meridian will play at Brownsburg. Therefore, if Avon beats Southport, they will host the sectional championship. And the other side of the regional bracket will be Jeffersonville, Columbus North, Center Grove, and Franklin Central. So you do have to worry about 7-1 Columbus North, 7-1 Franklin Central, and whether they're 4-4 or not, Center Grove is always a tough team. So you have to be worried about them to get through the regional. And then once you do, you're going to have a really strong team waiting for you there. And most likely it's going to be Ben Davis, who's 8-0 right now. They'll move to 9-0 tonight, certainly, at the conclusion of their contest. But they will have in the first round at Lawrence Central, which will be a tough contest for them. And in their sectional is Lawrence Central, Warren Central, and Lawrence North. So definitely Yeah, Ben Davis is ahead of North Central 37-0 right now. So Ben Davis definitely the regional favorite in that regional. Avon right now looking like a regional favorite in this one, except for Columbus North is also a very strong team. We mentioned that we had a chance to talk with Coach Bless this week, and here's what he had to say. The first thing we mentioned, we got ready to talk about it earlier, but we talked about the class of 2018 and their success. As we will bring you the second half and underneath our commentary like we did in the first half for most of it. Here's the kick deep, and Hydorn kicks it into the end zone once again for another touchback, and the Millers will take over 1st and 10 right there at the 20-yard line. Again, we talked to Coach Bless. Here's what he had to say to the class of 2018. This class has certainly experienced many highlights throughout their high school football careers. They've learned many life lessons along the way, both positives and some negatives as well. I believe that's helped them handle the highs and lows of the current season. This group of seniors is a tight-knit group who welcomes any younger players who can contribute on Friday nights. As a staff, we are very proud of our seniors, and they are very good football players, high academic guys, and solid young men. And as we mentioned with Drew earlier, academics is something they put a premium on here at Avon. As here comes the snap and a handoff up the middle. He's going to get through the line of scrimmage, give him credit with about 6 or 7 on the play, and it's going to be second down right there. Now, we also wanted to talk about the sectional draw and Southport. We want to know how you can contain an attack like Southport brings to you and what they are going to bring to you. And Coach Bless had this to say, which is a very interesting point. He said probably the best thing about playing Southport in the first round of the tournament is that they've played Bloomington North and Columbus North, and then us. That means Southport will have played 3 Blessed boys in 4 weeks with a week off in between. Coach Bless's brother Scott is at Bloomington North, and his brother Tim is at Columbus North, and they actually play each other several times a year as well. As we get just shy of a first down, it's going to be 3rd and about a yard for the Millers. So they should have plenty of information on Southport by the time we play each other. Southport seems to be a passing team. They're very good quarterback and wide receivers, and we'll need to pressure the quarterback to force some turnovers. Okay, now we moved on to this week, and we've already seen a little bit. I wanted to move on to this week. Noblesville comes in at 1-7 with their only victory coming against 3A Hamilton Heights. I told him Las Vegas has them as big favorites, and I wanted to know how he will manage the starters if a blowout comes into play, or if he even thinks about that, needing a win to clinch the conference. And after this play, we'll get to it. Here's a handoff. No, it's going to be a zone read up the middle. I think he's going to be shy of the first down, and he is. It's going to bring up 4th. But Coach said week by week we prepare for our opponents pretty much the same way no matter what their win-loss record is. We also worry about us as a team and try to control that which we can control, effort, hustle, and desire to compete. They've emphasized to the team this week that this game is for the HCC championship, and he believes that his guys will come ready to play. And by goodness, is he right. Here's 4th and short. The Orioles need a big stop. They're going to run a quarterback sneak, and the Orioles got him. They stopped him. They're going to need to measure, but it's going to be short, and they had to get to the 30, and they couldn't do it. The Orioles stopped them on 4th down, and a great job, as you can see, the Orioles defense coming onto the field. And let's see who's going to go under center. It is going to be Cameron Meisner here. Will take the snaps for the Orioles as we start the 3rd quarter. So we mentioned the conference championship, the biggest factor tonight. And the Orioles, if they can hold on to this 40-point lead, they are going to have it in the bag. Again, they will face off with Southport in 2 weeks, a team that Coach Bless and his family will know very well. Here's the pitch near side to Heaton. Heaton's going to cut back, looking for a hole. Can't quite get one, and he's taken down right at the line of scrimmage. Yeah, Garendo not in the game right now as they have brought on Robbie Heaton. Also Luke Chayadovich in there, Zion Davis, as well as senior number 3, Earl Reynolds, is getting some time in the game as well right now. All right, Davis and Chayadovich to the top of the field. Heaton and Reynolds on the near side. Meisner takes the snap from shotgun, dropping back the pass, looking over the middle. He's got Earl Reynolds near the 5, inside the end zone for a touchdown. Earl Reynolds, the senior, getting a touchdown reception on senior night. What a great pass by Meisner, and Earl Reynolds with the catch and run into the end zone. Getting a touchdown on senior night. Gotta love it for that young man. Meisner given plenty of time to drop back and pass, and does so for the easy score. And that will bring on Heidorn for the extra point. 46-0. That'll make it 47-0. And the Orioles are on top big here in the second half. So all's done but the shouting pretty much, as the Orioles will look to close out their season at 7-2, their regular season at 7-2 here. As the second half dwindles down, we're going to see a lot of running from Avon in the rest of the second half, I got to believe. Going to go check on the scoreboard around the state here if we can. And it doesn't look like we're going to be able to access that. Let's see if we can find out, see if we can find a place to find the live scoreboard. Usually Max Preps is, but we can't get there right now. Not going to be able to get to that one either. Give me a second. We'll find something. Looks like maybe Operation Football will have something for us. Again, WHMB 40 is here tonight. Look forward to going home and watching that one on Channel 40 when I get home. Those of you with cable, it's Channel 9 on most things. Ben Davis is ahead 37-0 at halftime. Westfield leads Brebeuf 17-14. Brebeuf handed Hamilton Southeastern a 30-0 loss last week, and here's the kick. It's away. It's going to be into the end zone once again for a touchback, and the Millers will have it once again at their own 20. It's like Cathedral beating Center Grove 14-0 at halftime. Brownsburg leads at halftime over Hamilton Southeastern 21-7. Rob Kendall, our good friend, on the call there. Lex Zorn is over at Plainfield, where the Quakers are unreported here at halftime. And we'll give you some more here as we go on throughout the evening. Here come the Millers. Here's the snap, and fumbled, and he's going to roll out. He's going to roll out. He's going to look. He's going to try to throw it away to somebody, and he's got a man. It's incomplete, and a smart play there by the Noblesville quarterback to get it away, and he does a nice job, as that will make it second down and 10, and what could have been second and really long, as he couldn't handle the snap quite easily. 9:15 to play here in a 47-0 ball game. Orioles just looking to get out of here healthy. Here's the snap, dropping back to pass. Passes over to the far side, and it's incomplete. All right, here come the Millers on 3rd down and 10. Quarterback will call the signals, take a snap from the shotgun, looking over the middle. Now he's looking deep. He's got a man, and I think it's intercepted. Oh, no, he dropped it, and you can tell that he's upset with himself. Is that Peterson? Yeah, that's Jalen Peterson looking for another interception. Can't quite come up with it. And Shayatovich will go back there to return the kick. And a tight formation and a I believe the Orioles have the block on. They'll send to several members and almost blocked. The kick is away. Shayatovich going to take it at about the 46. And, yeah, that's where he'll be dropped, and the play will end at the Noblesville 46-yard line. And the Orioles, the Millers, who have consistently been on the other side of the 50, have really failed to make the Orioles start very many possessions on their own side of the 50. And the Orioles, that's a part of the reason the Orioles lead it here by such a big margin. Again, we really want to thank our good friend Drew Shayatovich for joining us for the first half. He did a tremendous job of analyzing some stuff, and we got to talk to a friend. And here was the pass from Meisner to Lozano. It was incomplete, as I believe he zigged when he should have zagged there. And that'll bring up 2nd and 10. Again, if you're the Orioles, you're really looking to stay healthy and get your seniors in the game as Earl Reynolds comes to the near side. Heaton and Zion Davis at the top of the screen. Lozano's the tight end to the top as well, with Jabin Carter flanking Meisner in the backfield. And here's the handoff to Carter. He shoots himself out of that cannon once again and gets forward. He's only going to have about 4 on the carry, but it's going to be enough to give the Orioles 3rd and manageable here, 3rd and about 6 to go on the Miller 42. 4-yard carry for Carter on the play. The Orioles will break the huddle and come out here on 3rd down. Meisner sends 3 receivers to the near side. One at the top of the field is Lozano. Carter flanks him in the backfield. Takes the snap, looking for Lozano, and again, he was looking for Lozano at the sticks. Lozano did not turn around in time. That'll bring up 4th down, and the Orioles are going to punt it away. That's not Garindo going on. No, that's not. It's the Oriole kicker. Punter, maybe? Is it 33 or 83, maybe? If it's 83, it's going to be Mason Stemler, and he does handle the punting duties for the Orioles. So that's going to be Stemler back there, looking to punt this one away. He was punting some bombs in the warm-up, and the Orioles are going to take a timeout and bring the punting unit over to the sideline to have a conversation. Well, I saw a jersey with the number 3 on it on the backside, and I thought, oh, no, is that Garindo going out there to punt it? But it's not. Again, we haven't seen Garindo come out to play in the second half. I'm trying to scour the sideline and see if I can find him hanging out with the trainer somewhere. That might be him. No, it's not Isaac. I don't know. I'm going to keep looking for him. If I spot him, I'll let you know. Probably petitioning coach, like, Coach, my shoulder's fine. My shoulder's fine, Coach. Put me back in. But not a chance that Garindo, I don't think, sees the field again after that possession here. And the Orioles, here comes Stemler to kick it away. He kicks it high, and it's spiraling. It's going to be taken about the 10, and it's caught at the 11. Sorry for missing the picture there for a second, but it's caught at the 11, and that's where he'll be stopped, and the Orioles will have it. The Millers will have it, 1st and 10. All right, here come the Millers once again, and they'll come out.
You thought you were so funny. I can't believe you didn't tell me.
In their tight formation. Here's a snap. Pass over the middle of the tight end. Incomplete. He is hit hard on the play by a couple of Orioles, and that'll break up the pass. Again, Marcus Fredwell with you here on AudioSportsOnline.com. We thank you for joining us live. We also thank you if you're joining us via podcast several days from now. You know, it's one of those things where you can listen to us anytime you want to. I'll even say hello to myself, who's probably going to watch this one tonight when I get home. Again, this game is going to be broadcast at 10:30 on tape delay on channel WHMB 40. Here's the quarterback rolling out to the near side, and he's just going to walk out of bounds. Well, he almost walked out of bounds. He came back in for a smidge of a second. And he'll be knocked out at about the 14. Give him credit with 2 on the play. It's going to be 3rd down and 8 for the Millers. All right, they're going to split 2 receivers out to the far side, put a tight end over there as well, and then 1 receiver is on the near side. 1 running back flanks the quarterback in the backfield. Calls the signals. Takes the snap. Here comes the handoff to the far side. He's looking to get to the edge. He does so, and he gets forward. He's going to be close to a first down. Oh, but he fumbled. The Orioles think they have it. The Orioles think they have it. And a penalty flag is thrown. Orioles think they have it, and they do. But the flag is for holding, and the Orioles are going to have another turnover after they decline the penalty for holding on the fumble. The Oriole defense has been more than stout tonight, pitching a shutout so far. And I believe Meisner will come back out to lead the attack for the Orioles. Meisner in at quarterback. Reynolds and Davis to the near side. Heaton at the top of the field alone. Lozano in there to the near far side at tight end. Carter flanks Meisner in the backfield. Meisner dropping back to pass. He's looking to the end zone for Robbie Heaton. Thrown up, and I believe it's picked. Going to be picked? Yes, it is. Meisner throws his first interception. He was looking to get Robbie Heaton a touchdown, and you can't blame him there as Heaton, the senior, really wanted a touchdown. That might have been Meisner's last drive of the night as there's 7:24 to play here. And a penalty flag is thrown on, looks like on the sideline. See what he's calling here. Dead ball, sideline warning. Okay, just a sideline warning. Nothing spectacular, and absolute. You definitely understand why the sideline was so excited. They've not been able to stop the Orioles all night. The Orioles have punted but 1 time, and not only do they force the Orioles to punt on 1 possession, but after a fumble, they force an Oriole interception on the very next play, and they get the ball back now and get a chance to drive down and maybe get it across the 50-yard line for the first time tonight. The corners are in press coverage. Here comes the pass. Orioles in a soft cover 2. Looking over the middle is the quarterback. He's got a man that's caught. Caught at the 50, and he's going to take it all the way down to the 10, a 5, a touchdown. A flag is on the field, but I believe it's defensive interference. It's going to be interference of some type. And are we coming back?
Fix it. I can't now. I pulled
No,
it up.
the Orioles are walking toward the end zone like it's against the Millers. Holding on the defense. Yeah, that's going to be a defensive hold. It's going to be declined, and the Orioles are going to give up their first score of the night on a big, long touchdown.
Should she do double braids? That was terrible. What should I do to her hair? No. We gotta put a filter on this. What should I do to her hair?
Zach Zuber, the senior
What should I do to Emma?
receiver and kicker, coming up with the catch. And now he'll put a boot into it. This kid's got an absolute cannon of a leg. I was at HSC a couple weeks ago where he hit a 45-yarder, right before halftime. Snap is back, the hold is down, the kick is up, and it's through. And the Millers are on the board for the first time tonight. Score now, 47, Avon. Noblesville, 7.
Are you breaking it?
Once again, we want to thank our sponsors tonight, Red Cobra Wrestling. They offer training sessions from Chad Red, located at 9233 East Highway 36 in Avon, across the street from Walmart and behind sidelines in the Red Brick Building. They offer sessions for all ages, including 3rd grade and under, and 4th grade and up. Learn more at redcobrawrestlingacademy.com. Dr. Timothy Greer, DDS, and Dr. Christopher LaFave of Avon Dental Center have been providing dental care in Hendricks County for over 20 years, located in Avon's Beechwood Center area, just east of Ivy Tech. They're open Monday through Friday, although early morning hours on the weekend are available. More information is available by calling 317-272-8100 or at avondentalcenter.com. So the holding penalty on the touchdown is going to be enforced now on the kickoff, and the Millers will kick off from their own 50, or their own 50, the 50. And I wouldn't be surprised to see a high pooch kick here, or maybe an onside attempt, try to get the ball back. But Zach Zuber has a cannon of a leg, and if he kicks it deep, it's going to go deep. And, yeah, that's going to be a touchback, as the ball will head over the end line into the end zone for the touchback, and the Orioles will have it 1st and 10 at their own 20. Reynolds Body Shop has been family-owned and operated for 30 years, providing collision repair. They are located at 4325 West Washington Street in Indy, just 4 stoplights east of 465, open Monday through Friday, 7:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Learn more about them online at www.reynoldsbodyshop.com or give them a call at 317-243-2372. McNamara Flores has been in business since 1954 with 8 locations in the Indy area. As well as the store on Avon, in Avon on the Rockville Road. They offer floral designs for various occasions. Located at 9655 East Highway 36 in Avon, they can be reached at 317-579-7900. Here come the Orioles. Here's Meisner. He will have 2 receivers to the top, 1 to the bottom. Lozano at the top of the formation as a tight end. Hands off up the middle to number 40. I believe that's going to be a senior. He spins again. And let's see, number 40 is Devin Efflinger. He is a senior, a 5'11 senior running back who, with guys like Samson James and Javen Carter, it's tough to get a carry in edgewise. But nonetheless, he does so right here. And the Orioles will have it 3rd down and about 3 to go as Efflinger flanks Meisner in the backfield. 3 receivers to the near side. 1 at the top of the field there all alone. And here's Meisner calling the signals, takes the snap, looking, has his tight end, but can't quite hold on to it. And that'll bring up 4th down, and the Orioles will punt once again. There's the snap. Punt is away from Stemler. He gets it over to the near side, and it's going to be fair caught at about the 40-yard line. Call it spotted at the 40. Fair catch made. And it's going to be a 1st down for the Millers at the 40-yard line. 5:33 to play in the ball game. Got to believe the Orioles are going to run the clock out with their ensuing possessions. And I can't think that you're going to see Meisner too many more times, but you never know. Here's the formation and the snap. Dropping back to pass are the Millers. Giving chase are the Orioles. He rolls out. Now he's looking over the middle. He's got a man complete at about the opposite 40-yard line. And we mentioned in the first half, you really don't want to do that, rolling away and throwing back, but they did it, and it worked here for a 1st down. Here come the Millers once again. They send two receivers to the top of the field, one to the bottom. He's looking. He's got a swing pass to his running back out there to the far side. And he gets forward for a gain of about 4. And it looks like Nicholas Gray over there for the Orioles calling himself off the field. They're looking to get a sub in. And that will send out Alex Griffith, the junior, for the Orioles. And Gray will limp off the field. So here come the Millers. Quarterback, 3 receivers to the near side, 1 at the top of the field. Running back in the backfield. Dropping back, looking over the middle, has a man. Almost intercepted. Is it picked? Did they catch it? Yeah, they did. Another turnover for the Oriole defense. Connor Albert, the senior, with the interception. And the Orioles are going crazy here in Avon. Oops. Here comes, looks like, Meisner under center, in the shotgun again. Here's the snap, handoff to Carter. Carter breaks a tackle, but he's going to be taken down at the line of scrimmage there. What an amazing play by Albert. The ball was tipped up in the air, and Albert just dove underneath, got his arms under the ball, and was able to make the interception. And back out will come the Orioles here on second down and about 9. They'll send 2 receivers to the near side, 1 to the top of the field. Lozano in there at tight end with Carter on the left side of the formation. Snap, dropping back the passes. Meisner looking far sideline for Heaton, can't get him. It's going to be 3rd and 9. Trips to the near side. Heaton alone at the top of the formation. Carter flanks Meisner to his right side. Meisner dropping back to pass, looking. And he's got the screen set up to Javen Carter. He's got some room and some athleticism. He gets forward. He's got enough for the first down and a little bit more. But most importantly, a first down, and the chains will move. So that time the Orioles hand it off up the middle to Carter, and he gets forward for about 5 or 6. Give him 6. It's going to be second down and about 4 to go from the 42-yard line. They got to get it to the 46. Just over 2.5 to play here in the third period. I beg your pardon. Orioles aren't really trying to dwindle a whole bunch of time off the clock. They're just trying to take it as it goes. And there's Meisner. He's going to wait to even call the signals until there's about 5 on the play clock. He calls the signals, snaps it with 3, hands it off up the middle to Carter. Carter gets through the line of scrimmage and fights and fights and fights some more, and he's got enough for the first down. Just keep moving that clock, and we'll get home nice and early tonight. I wish they'd just turn on the running clock right now. They do that in, like, Texas and stuff. Here is Meisner. He's going to wait again until 5 seconds are on the play clock to even start his cadence. Calls the cadence, snaps it, hands it off to Carter, up the middle again. Carter breaks through some tackles, on his feet still at the 40, and he's across the 40 down to the 35, 36-yard line. And another nice carry for Javen Carter, who is handling this Avon rushing attack here in the second half. $15 yards on the carry up the middle for Carter, and the clock remains moving at 1:25 to play. 1st and 10, the Orioles have it. Meisner will wait again until there's about 5 seconds on the play clock to snap the ball. There's the 5. He starts the cadence. Takes the snap. Hands it off to Carter up the middle. And this time he's going to be brought down in the backfield. As the Orioles said, you know what? You haven't stopped us for the last 4 times. What makes you think you're going to stop us this time? But they stacked it up in there and made a play. So it's been a while since we've seen Shayatovich or Garindo hasn't played in the whole second half. So definitely, I believe, do I see Isaac? I still haven't seen Isaac over there. But to be honest with you, I don't know what he looks like without a number 23 jersey on. So here comes Meisner. 2 receivers to the top, 1 to the bottom. Lozano in the H-back. Javen Carter back there in the backfield. Handoff up the middle to Carter this time. Breaks through the line of scrimmage. Gets back across the original line of scrimmage. Down for a gain of about 5. It's going to be 3rd down now and 8. And that'll be the last play of the 3rd quarter, as we'll move it to the 4th here on senior night with the Orioles leading by a score of 47-0. Excuse me, 47-7. Check that. All right, they're getting things going here in the Avon student section, as the blowout means nothing to these students. And Carter will flank Meisner in the backfield again here on 3rd and 8. Meisner dropping back to pass, looking far side for Heaton. He's got him. Heaton steps out of bounds, and roughing the passer going to be called on this one as a cheap shot in there late by a Miller. And you got to get Meisner out of the game right now if you're Coach Bless. If that's going to be how the Millers are going to play the game, and you're the Orioles, you definitely just want to get Cameron out of the game, and it looks like they will. And I think that's Luke Shayatovich going to go in there and call the signals now. So senior Luke Shayatovich in there at quarterback. And where is Drew when you need him? They've still yet to move the chains, and they'll do that now. Personal foul, roughing the passer. They'll move it forward into 1st and goal for the Orioles after the roughing the passer call. And Shea has already called the play in the huddle. They'll move the clock now. Shayatovich going to let some time dwindle off the clock. He'll call the cadence, takes the snap, hands it off. Carter cuts back and really lays on top of the defender and moves it forward. And Luke Shayatovich will continue to call the cadence there at quarterback. Shayatovich was a backup quarterback for Meisner on the JV team several years ago. So definitely knows what he's doing, calling the cadences. He knows all the plays. He is very capable of running the show at quarterback, but they prefer his athleticism at wideout. The attack does change a little bit, though, with him at quarterback, as he is more mobile than Meisner. And here's the handoff up the middle to Carter this time. He gets forward. He's going to be shy of the first down at about the 5-yard line where the ball will be spotted. Shayatovich will call the cadence again on 3rd down with Carter in there at running back. Here comes another handoff to Carter, no doubt. Snap, handoff. Carter takes it up the middle, and he's going to be shy of the touchdown. Let's see if he got to the first. No, he didn't. It's going to be 4th down, and the Orioles will likely bring on the kicking team. Yeah, here comes Hydorn in the kicking unit. And Shayatovich will be the holder. Hydorn the kicker, Ethan Warren the junior snapper. So 2/3 of a senior battery here. 9:48 to play in the ball game. Snap back, hold down, kick is up and it's through. Orioles put up 50 for the 3rd time this season. And they move to a 50-47 lead here with 9:42 to play in the ball game. So Justin Hydorn will come on to put a boot into this one from the center of the field at the 40-yard line. Likely to send another one back and grab another touchback here. And here's the snap, here's the kick, it's away, and it goes into the end zone for a touchback. So the Millers will take over 1st and 10 at their own 20 for like the 50th time tonight. And all but 9:42 separates the Orioles from another conference title. Just looking at the back wall of the Avon press box here, they've got the 7 conference teams, and they will add another conference team to that wall next year as the Franklin Central Flashes, I believe it is, will join the conference. And the Millers come out now in another spread formation. Here's the snap, and the handoff goes up the middle. This looks like a JV, a younger guy out there now for the Millers. And that will be, that's a young guy out there for the Millers. Number 19 in at quarterback, number 24 or 34 in at wideout, at tailback, and the Millers have pulled their starters out of the game. The Orioles have done so on defense, so look for the JV squads to be handling the rest of tonight's contest. Here come the Millers. Quarterback calls the cadence, running back to his left in the backfield, and a false start going to be called, on the near side wideout. You may have seen him scooch just a little bit at the start of the play. And either way, that's going to bring up 2nd down and 8 now. So we will vie once again for the title of world's shortest post-game show this week. See how quickly we can get out of here. Last week at HSE, we got out before the buzzer even sounded to 0 as Brebeuf kneeled on it with about 39 seconds left, and we just cut out at about 12 to go. So see if we can beat that this week, as this one has been a laugher since early in the first quarter. And here's the young man calling out the cadence, taking the snap, looking to pass. has a pass, almost intercepted by the Orioles. 25, Jacob Crosby, the senior, almost coming up with the pick. And honestly, if he can hold on to that one, there is nobody between him and the end zone. Nothing between him and the end zone but a patch of green grass on that one if he makes the pick. But no dice there, and the Orioles will look to make a stop here on 3rd and 8. Here's the snap and a handoff up the middle, and he's going to be dropped in the backfield. Orioles number 43, Dakota McNeil, the senior, comes up with a big play, and an unnecessary roughness going to be called on somebody. It was after the play, so it'll be a dead ball foul. So either way, it's going to be 4th down here. Dead ball, personal foul on the Millers. That'll push them back even further. So that's the second personal foul on the Millers in about 2 minutes of gameplay, and the Millers will have to punt this one away. I think the Orioles will probably just play it safe. They'll leave the defense on the field and put the return man back there. It's going to be Tyler Anderson, the sophomore, out there getting a chance to run kicks back tonight. Way down there in the end zone, all by himself, is the Miller's left-footed punter, as he'll look to get a boot into this one, and the Orioles are going to give chase here, looking to try to block it. Oh, and offsides is going to be called. I believe it's going to be, offsides on the Orioles, as they tried to get a head start there, but no luck. So we're likely to see number 8, Mason Miller, come in at quarterback on this possession, as Meisner doesn't even have his helmet on right now, and he's just hanging out, enjoying the weather. Here's the snap, high snap, but it's caught and kicked. A short end-over-end kick is going to hit at the 34 and bounce and roll, and a penalty is going to be called on the Orioles. Just a big mistake play there for the youngster from the Orioles. Here on AudioSportsOnline.com, we do not mention names of guys that make plays like that, and it's a good thing because we don't even have his number listed here in the old program. So but just if you saw that and you know who that is, this is the bonehead play by the Orioles there. No reason for that extracurricular push. With a big lead, you're already really dominating, and unfortunately, a bad decision there by a young Oriole, and that'll make the Orioles, Mason Miller, have to start his position from way out here. But like I want to say the 4th time this year, Mason Miller and company have gotten to come on for late game varsity action. At cleanup time, if you will. They'll send 2 receivers to the top of the field, 2 to the near side. Miller will be there in the backfield with a running back flanking him to his left. I believe that is, it's handed off up the middle. Efflinger is going to go around the right side. Broke a tackle. He's down there inside the 20, inside the 10, 5. Touchdown, Avon. Devin Efflinger, the senior, coming around the end for a big Avon touchdown. That puts the Orioles up by 50, and it's 56-7, and the Hydorn field goal will likely make it 57-7. Hydorn will kick the extra point up and through, and the Orioles are on top 57-7 here with 7:46 to play in the ball game. Now they got to start the running clock, I believe. 7 touchdown lead for the Orioles, one of their biggest of the year, and the Orioles have just been dominating from the word go tonight. So the Orioles, they were up 63-7 a few weeks ago against Whiteland. They won, but that's their biggest lead of the season to this point. And I am expecting the Orioles to probably, even the JV squad, after that Efflinger big-time touchdown run, I'm definitely expecting the Orioles to be able to get into the end zone one more time. So don't be surprised if you see the Orioles have their biggest win of the season against a Noblesville team that just has not had a very great year. Here's the kick deep. It's a sidewinder helicopter-style kick for Hydor, and it's going to be taken near the goal line. And he's going to get it around near the 20. He's probably better off just letting that one go into the end zone. And more Orioles pushing after the play. They've got to stop doing that. As you know, when Coach Bless watches the film session tomorrow, he's going to make a big point to tell his squad that you really have to pay attention, especially when you're in big blowout games. You cannot over-exaggerate any post-play pushes, as they're always going to get called on the team that's in the big lead. So. They'll bring the young unit back on the field. One receiver to the top of this formation, two to the bottom. One running back flanking the quarterback in the backfield. Handoff up the middle. Cuts near the 20 and gets across down to the 25, and it's going to be second down and about 4. Again, want to thank all of our sponsors one final time: Reynolds Body Shop, McNamara Florist, Red Cobra Wrestling Academy, and the Avon Dental Center have all been providing us great coverage throughout the entire season. And here comes the handoff up the middle again, and it's going to be taken forward. A penalty flag is thrown. I believe it's going to be an illegal shift illegal shift is called on the Millers, and that'll push them back, I believe, for a second down and 9 now. Oh, you're kidding. So we won't be able to post this link until I get home, because the Wi-Fi here is not going to allow me to log on to YouTube. But we will stay with you until the conclusion. And here is a Miller dropped in the backfield by a bunch of Orioles. And that'll bring up third down and long. It's going to be 3rd and 13. Call it 3rd and 14. 3rd and 13 from the 16-yard line. 6.5 to go here in the ball game. Oh, and there's the first time all night I've spotted Isaac Garindo. He is in a hoodie. Still has his football pants on, but he took his pads off at halftime. And he's just holding on to the shoulder, making sure everything's okay. And here's the snap, and a false start again. It's going to be called. And just a bevy, a comedy of errors tonight by the Millers, as they have not been able to have anything get going for them all game long. So 3rd down and 18 now on the 11-yard line. Just under 6 to go. And here's the snap. Handoff up the middle. He's looking for the edge now. He cuts back, and he's going to be dropped just across the 10 near the line of scrimmage. Is that another flag? Yeah, another flag, this time in the backfield. Another penalty flag in the backfield. Orioles likely to decline any, illegal procedure called on the Millers, declined, and it'll be 4th down and 17 from the 12, and the Millers will bring on their punting unit once again. Anderson deep for the Orioles with 5.5 to play. Here's the snap, a good one, left foot into it, and it is taken by Anderson at about the 42, and that's where the Orioles will have it, 1st and 10 with 5:08 to play. And really, if you're Avon, all you really need is, 2 first downs, and this game's over. Mason Miller will go back out there at quarterback. Now, when we've seen him on the JV side, it's been a bit of a read option look, and he's been able to run the ball very well, but his backfield mate back there with him as well has done a nice job. I can't quite make out the back of the jersey of the guy that's in there right now, but here comes the handoff up the middle for the Orioles. It's taken forward and just keeps moving his legs, and he's going to be just shy of a 1st down. Senior Evan Shipman on the carry. Doesn't get a whole lot of carries, but they're trying to do everything they can to get the seniors the ball, and that's a great thing. You love to see a senior getting his time on senior night, and that's exactly what the Orioles have going on here, as Shipman will be back in the backfield with Miller once again. And here we're likely to see another Miller handoff up the middle. Shipman gets it up the middle again, just keeps moving his legs, and he's got another 1st down. 4:20 to play now. And we'll run the clock again, and one more 1st down, we'll put it away for the Orioles here. Here come the Orioles. Shipman flanks Mason Miller in the backfield. Here comes a man in motion, and the handoff up the middle to Shipman again. He gets forward. He's going to be hit hard, shy of the 1st down. The Orioles will snap this ball just outside of 3 minutes on the clock. Oops, lost the camera there for just a moment. I accidentally unplugged it. But here comes a handoff up the middle to Shipman again, and he's got enough for a 1st down. So actually the Orioles will have to score one more 1st down. Wait, what? Here's not Shipman, but said Stevens. Number 18, Jarrett Steven, the sophomore. Okay, and we've seen a lot from Steven on the JV side this year, and he has a big future at running back, as he has had a big year on the JV squad running the football. And here come the Orioles again, as we will have looks like just a couple of more plays here. If they get a 1st down here, then they can kneel on it the rest of the time. And here is Steven getting another handoff. He's going to get up the middle, and I believe he'll be just shy of the end zone. And a personal foul is going to be called on the Millers. Oh, a hold on. He called a hold. The Oriole lineman was on his back with a Miller on top of him, but I guess he was hanging on to him. As that brings up second down. That'll bring up second down and really long for the Orioles. But that's quite all right, as it's like a couple more plays that the Orioles will have to run before they can kneel on it. Miller with Steven in the backfield, trips to the top of the field, one receiver by himself at the bottom. Miller hands it off to Steven up the middle. Steven breaks through the line of scrimmage and gets pulled down near the 15 at the 16. And let's see, there will be about a minute on the clock when the Orioles snap this ball. So Miller, unless the Orioles pick up a first down here, they'll have to probably kick a field goal. But here's the handoff to Steven up the middle, and he's going to be close to a first down. He's got enough for the first down. They'll be shy, and the Orioles will kneel on it twice to finish this ball game. So the clock will run. The Orioles will have to snap it. Yeah, Miller just told the official that he's going to kneel on it. The Orioles will have to snap it 2 more times, and then we'll be all done tonight, as the Avon Orioles have, in dominating fashion, just every facet of the game, have owned the Millers, and that's actually the final snap of the game as Mason Miller kneels on it, and we are all done here tonight. Again, Marcus Fredwell, I want to thank all of our sponsors, Reynolds Body Shop, McNamara Florist, Red Cobra Wrestling, and the Avon Dental Center. We want to thank Jason Dozier back in the booth for flipping the switches, Drew Shayatovich for helping us out in the first half here, and everybody here at Avon High School for their constant hospitality, as has been a case all year long, and we look forward to the postseason as the Orioles will be in 2 weeks facing off with Southport at 7 o'clock, 2 Fridays from tonight. So we will go ahead and sign off. This is Marcus Fredwell for the final time tonight, saying thank you for joining us. And for everybody out there in Radio Land, so long, sports fans.